So one drill, we've talked about it in our other lessons, but what we're ultimately trying to do is transfer our range game onto the actual golf course, which is one of the hardest things to do. And the reason it's so difficult for most players is because they're not practicing the way they would play on the golf course. Go to the range, you hit 25 7-irons in a row, you hit 3 good ones and think I was hitting my 7-iron well. And what you need to be, when you're on the course, you hit 1 7-iron on that hole, and if you shank it, that was your shot. So like what we did on the range, where we were hitting different irons, different shots and wedges, we're going to do the same thing on the chipping green in hopes that it's going to translate. This practice is going to translate to the on-course play. So one drill that I want you to work on the days that you're practicing by yourself is we're going to play, you can play 9 or 18 holes, however much time you have. You're going to take a ball, throw it into a random position. So let's say we throw it over there. You're going to take whatever clubs that you would normally play on the golf course, and you're going to play that ball out. Just one ball. So it's probably going to be the bump and run shot that we work at. You're going to hit that chip shot, and you're going to putt it out. If you make a 2, that's par. So what we're trying to do on every single shot is get up and down. But what I want you to do before we meet again is get a couple practice sessions and do what we worked on. So that drill where you're actually finishing the ball out and keeping track so that we can try to improve our scores. And when you're hitting the flop shots, I want you to think of the 2 things that we practice about. I want you to think about shallowing out your arc and accelerating your hands into a high finish position. When we did that, our results were great. Right. With the bump and run, same thing. We want to work on getting our hands a little bit out in front of ourselves. And the analogy that we used was land the airplane. Just keep thinking about that. Like you said, it takes the technicalities out of it, makes it a little easier for you. And just we're working on using the bounce of that club. A lot of players aren't doing that or haven't learned that. And once you start doing that, I think you're really going to improve on the golf course. Okay. So we'll see you again next week. Get a couple practice sessions in before we see you again.
Looks like it's going to roll a little bit to the right when it gets up there.
Yes. Yeah, that mountain plays a little more in than you think, so I would start it left of the hole.
Got a spot about 6 feet on the green.
Okay, good. That's okay, that's going to release.
Might work out. Wasn't quite what I was trying to do.
See how much that turns?
Yeah.
Good shot.